Now, Boris Johnson is facing 3 inquiries into the redecoration of his number 11 flat. A review is being carried out into the funding of the refurbishment, whether any donations or loans were used and not properly declared, and whether he has broken the ministerial code.
Joining us now is the Minister for Middle East and North Africa, James Cleverly. Good to see you this morning. I know the Prime Minister and other ministers are saying nothing to see here, cash for curtains, what a load of nonsense in the midst of a pandemic. But others are seeing something, aren't they? And when you've got the leader of the Scottish Conservatives saying if found to break the rules, he should resign, is adding more weight and more pressure for Boris Johnson not to wait for the 3 inquiries that are going on into him, but come out and clear it up. Who made the initial payment? Who was it? And was there any influence or was there any suggestion of impropriety?
OK, we've just come out of a report of the situation in India, and my boss, the Foreign Secretary, is about to meet with his foreign ministerial colleagues from around the globe to address some of the really important issues that we're discussing. And I get there is a huge amount of interest in certain circles about this, but there will be reports that come out in the near future, I have no doubt. The Prime Minister will respond to those reports. But I think the juxtaposition of the images of what we're seeing in India...
You're being a bit tricksy there and a bit mean there.
No, I'm not.
A little bit,
no,
because you're suggesting that
there's nothing more I can add to
we
this.
think this issue is more important than a person dying every 4 minutes in India, which obviously we don't. But at the core of it is an issue of trust. Is an issue of trust in the government. Did the government get it right? Has it got integrity? You know, and it leads back to other issues about, you know, how PPE was procured and all of that. It's about trust and integrity in that, and trust in the people elected to lead to behave properly in a pandemic, dealing with terrible situations like this. So that's why it's important. Is Boris Johnson above the law?
Well, no one is above the law, and the reports will come out when they come out, and the Prime Minister will respond to what they say. And I think that speculating about what the reports might say or how the Prime Minister might respond is it's interesting to some.
Clear it up himself, couldn't he? But he could take this farrago, as he called it, away, clear it up, say what it was about, everybody move on.
So the Prime Minister has been asked about this. He's given his answers about this. I don't know
about the initial payment. He's not answered that.
I mean, I'm astonished that you are not... James Cleverly...
I can't go any further than the Prime Minister has gone, because I don't know details beyond the information that the Prime Minister has already been given when he's been asked about this.
Let's turn this question a little bit on its head. I'm astonished that you're just playing this with a straight bat and not giving anything, because it is affecting you in the polls, isn't it? The latest opinion poll in the Observer saw the Conservative lead drop from 11 to 5 points. I mean, if you're controlling Conservative election policy, that's shocking. That's a worry, isn't it? I'll give you another one. YouGov poll for Sunday Times puts Labour 1 point behind the Tories. We haven't seen that for many years. This has got to be a worry for you. So you've obviously, the Conservative Party have gone down the route where you're going to play a straight bat, hit the balls out the ground and just not give anything. But it's not working, because the polls are showing it's not working. So you must be able to give us something. And as Kate said, it's transparency and trust, and people are starting to see that we haven't got that in British politics at the very top. And that's bad for your government, isn't it? Well,
all I can do is give you the answer that I gave a few moments ago. You're asking me to provide details that I don't have. The Prime Minister has given the details that he is going to give, and we await for the outcome of those reports. And I have to say, we are 11 years into a Conservative government, and if when I was first elected, someone had said, in in 2021, the government would be between 5 and 11 points ahead of Labour. I would have taken that. And I think the reason that we are still seeing those polling numbers is because they've seen a government that is delivering it. We delivered on Brexit, we're delivering on increased police numbers, we're delivering on increased NHS numbers, and we have rolled out a vaccination programme which is the envy of the world. And I think that's what people recognise.
That vaccination bubble appears
and that's what they're talking to me about when I speak to them on the doorstep.
But trust is very important in politics, isn't it? And that vaccination bubble that you had appears to have burst, and people just can't. They want some straight answers,
trust is
and they're not getting it. James Cleverly, let me finish.
If you're asking a question, let me answer the question.
James Cleverly, let me finish. And when you see the leader of the Scottish Conservatives being honest, you know, you might not vote Conservatives, but you see a straight man giving a straight answer, and that's not happening at Westminster, is it? And that's the problem. Douglas Ross gave a straight answer. You've just come on this programme and you will not give an answer on what you might say it's not the biggest issue, but there was blanket coverage of this last week and it's damaging you, and you still won't give an answer. And that seems, as I said, it's astonishing.
So you want to talk about trust? Ours was the party that in the last general election said that we would listen to the British people, trust their judgment and deliver Brexit. We did that. We said we would recruit more police officers. We're doing that. We said we would recruit more doctors and nurses. We're doing that. We said we would fight this coronavirus. We're doing that. And now, this weekend, along with our international partners, we are setting forward a set of agendas with regard to the global economy, with regard to the environment, and perhaps most importantly, with regard to girls' education and women's economic empowerment. And we will deliver on that. And that's what people see, and that's why they are still voting for us.
It's a shame if that good work gets damaged by something like this, and that must make you very frustrated and want to answer yourself. To move on to another issue which we've been following very closely on this programme, as I'm sure you have, the situation with Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe. They talked extensively to Richard, her husband, about the awful situation the family's been in and the terrible plight she's in. Iranian TV reports yesterday that the UK is going to pay the £400 million, which is the debt the UK owes to Iran over the failure to deliver tanks 40 years ago, back in the 70s. Can you confirm that the government are paying this, are in talks to pay this, are looking into it at all? Is there any basis to it at all?
Well, the sad truth is that the regime in Tehran have played games with Nazanin's emotions and have been completely inhumane in her treatment for a very, very long time. And sadly, I think this is another example of this. The debt that you talk about, that arrangement with regard to tanks back from the 1970s, has been an ongoing and is an ongoing legal dispute, and we are working through that. Completely separately is the illegitimate and unjustifiable incarceration of Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe and a number of other British dual nationals by the Iranian regime. We absolutely reject the British dual nationals being used as some kind of political leverage. It is completely inappropriate and wrong. And Iran can't have it both ways. They cannot claim that their incarceration is legitimate, which they have done, but also claim it's linked to this historic legal case. So, as I say, the legal situation with regard to the tanks is one thing, and this completely inappropriate detention of British dual nationals is something else.
I just want to ask you one quick question about the scenes we saw at Old Trafford. You would have seen it on the news. Fans outside the stadium to start with, and then 200 fans got inside. And this was one of the biggest games of the season, Manchester United, Liverpool. It was supposed to happen. It didn't happen because fans got on the pitch. And, I mean, there are two sides to this. You can see why fans are protesting because of these big rich people running these clubs, the Glazers at Manchester United. But these are bad scenes. These are fans fighting police. What do you make of it, and what's your message to the fans?
Look, there's two things here. The scenes that we're seeing on screen now, totally unacceptable, and they should not have happened. And so, you know, I completely reject this as being a response to the frustrations that a number of fans have. So these scenes completely wrong. That said, one of the reasons why we have commissioned, or the Prime Minister has commissioned, Tracy Crouch to lead a fan-led review into football, is that the fans have got to be at the heart of football. It can't just be about owners and sponsors and TV rights. It's got to have the fans at the heart of the game, as has traditionally been the case. That's why we've got this fan-led review. That is the right way for fans to feed in their ideas, frustrations or concerns. These kind of scenes, we shouldn't be seeing those.
Do you support a team? Which team do you support?
I do. I'm more of a rugby guy than football, but we're an Arsenal family. The Cleverly family.
I knew it.
Arsenal family.
You know, I knew it, James. Because I'm a Tottenham fan. I just knew there was a bit of rub. And
you're putting it down to
that's where the
I knew it. I was going to suggest Arsenal. Thank you. Great to talk to you.
Thank you.